Hi, LD8 Democrats. I'm sorry I am not with you tonight. I am on a much needed vacation. My name is Representative Deborah Nardozzi, and I wanted to talk to you briefly about our last few weeks at the Capitol. So, as you know, we did balance the budget, and I wanted to discuss briefly my vote. I was a no vote for the budget. Since we were not able to roll back any vouchers or really protect our public schools, I was already going to be a no vote on this budget. At the last minute, there were also some cuts made to Opportunity Weight, which is essentially public education schools who have a high number of children and students below the poverty level are unfortunately needing more money to bring those kids up to a standard of education. So there's more resources needed, there is more food, there are social services, there's perhaps tutors, et cetera. And a few cycles ago, the legislature did vote to put more funding into those schools, and they called it an opportunity weight because it was a weighted program for how many students were in those schools. Unfortunately, we weren't able to roll back ESAs. We weren't able to stop any of the universal vouchers sucking money from our public education. And on top of that, a decision was made to end the opportunity weight over next year and the year thereafter. And I understand that we are in a deficit. We all understand that we are in a deficit because of Ducey's flat tax. However, if we are not going to be able to roll back vouchers in any way, you better darn well be sure you shouldn't be touching any public education funding. So that was my line in the sand, and public education was touched. They took out what's the equivalent of about $33 million per year for our public schools for these students that are most in need. And I had asked for trigger language to be put in, which essentially means that if we start to receive funding, that'll automatically trigger the funding again for this particular line item for opportunity weight. Makes sense, right? State makes more money. We can support these kids that need it the most. And I was told I was going to get that. Unfortunately, we never got that. What was in there is legislative intent language. Legislative intent language basically means that we intend to put it back in. We promise to put it back in. We really hope to put it back in. And that is not good enough for our district. We could have put trigger language in there. They did not do that. So I was a no vote on the budget. And I think that was the right decision for all of us in LD8. And then that's it. After a couple of long days, we did sine die, which means ending session with no additional days, right? There's no other day scheduled. I was honored to be part of the sine die committee to go over the Senate to say that the House had completed our labors for the session. And it feels really good. And I am just so honored to still be that voice for everyone here in LD8. I'm working very hard on constituent services. They may be calling us back in for a special session to deal with water and maybe another situation later on this year. So I'm looking forward to still being a representative for the remainder of my term in any way that I can help the voters, constituents, and residents of LD8. So thank you so much.